I am on the banks of the Ganga today in Varanasi, standing at the Ravidas Ghat. In the background, you can see many of the city's 84 ghats. Varanasi, as you know, is the most ancient city to have been continuously inhabited. This, of course, is one of the most high-profile constituencies of this election. In the 2014 election, the most prominent candidate against Narendra Modi was Arvind Kejriwal of the AAP. In fact, he did not even stay back till the counting was over, and Narendra Modi registered an emphatic win. In the next election in 2019, the winning margin went up by 1 lakh votes. The candidate who came in second was a joint candidate of the Bahujan Samaj Party and the Samajwadi Party, which were in a Mahagathbandhan. The candidate who came in third in all these elections was Ajay Rai. Ajay Rai is currently the president of the UP Congress Committee. To his credit, he increased his vote counts, and he told the week in an exclusive interaction.
बनारस के अंदर जो भी यहाँ की जो एक चीजें मतलब इसको बोला जाता है बनारस जिसकी वजह से जान मतलब बनारस की पहचान वो धीरे धीरे लोगों ने खत्म करने का प्रयास किया। खत्म नहीं हो सकता, बाबा विश्वनाथ का स्थान है, मंदिरों को उतना तोड़ फोड़ किया। बनारस धार्मिक शहर है, आध्यात्मिक शहर है, ये पर्यटक शहर नहीं है, इसको पर्यटक शहर बना दिया। ये मोक्ष की नगरी है, अध्यात्म की नगरी है, धर्म की नगरी है, पर्यटक शहर बनारस पर्यटक शहर नहीं। ये सब इन लोगों ने जो किया है निश्चित तौर से कांग्रेस ने कभी नहीं किया। बनारस अगर प्यार होता, लगाव होता, आपको बनारस क्यों नहीं लाया कारखाना भाई? एक भी कारखाना नहीं, कोई स्कूल अच्छा नहीं खुला, सेंट्रल स्कूल, प्राइम मिनिस्टर की कंस्टिट्यूंसी एक भी सेंट्रल स्कूल नहीं खुला बनारस, क्यों नहीं खुला? इसका जवाब दे मोदी जी।
This time again, Rai is fighting against Modi. The third candidate of some notice is the BSP candidate, Athar Jamal Tari. He is an outsider. In contrast, Ajay Rai is an insider, as in he belongs to Varanasi. He is a member of the Bhumihar caste, which is the traditional landowning caste in these parts. The electoral contest in Varanasi is so interesting that just to be a part of it, more than 100 candidates had filed their nomination in the last election. This time, 38 nominations have been rejected, and there are 17 candidates in the fray. At least one candidate told us that he was prevented from filing his nomination, which he managed to do at the last minute, but finally his papers were rejected. While this election might just be symbolic, we should also wait to see if this will go down in electoral history, not just for the voting percentage and the margin of victory, but also because it will make Narendra Modi the first sitting PM to be elected 3 times from the same constituency. One of the most marked development features is the addition to existing infrastructure and the improvement of existing infrastructure. Narendra Modi, in fact, has been constantly monitoring the development of his constituency, and in a year, he can make as many as 5 visits with an average of 4. Among the development infrastructure projects that we see here, there is a stadium, a new ghat, which we will come back to, flyovers, a dairy plant with a 4 lakh litre daily capacity, widening of existing highways, ring roads, overhead bridge, fortifying the rail connectivity, which includes the Vande Bharat Express from Varanasi to Delhi. However, some locals are of the opinion that when you change such an ancient city and try to put a stamp on modernity on it, you essentially alter its character. Remember, Narendra Modi had once famously said that he wants Varanasi to be like Kyoto. What has been done for the environment? 88 Amrit Sarovars have been made, and a cow dung plant has also been set up. Also, Varanasi has been turned into a center for showcasing and strengthening the country's cultural ethos. Thus, in 2019, the first edition of the Tamil Kashi Samagan took off. This had 2,500 candidates from Tamil Nadu attending it in the first show. The building of the Kashi Vishwanath corridor is another sparkling example of what Narendra Modi has done to draw in more and more tourists/pilgrims to this city. In 2022, after the corridor was inaugurated, the number of tourists to Varanasi went up to be 8 times more than all the tourists who were going to Goa that year.
16 करोड़ से अधिक श्रद्धालु श्री काशी विश्वनाथ धाम में दर्शन करने आए। 16 करोड़ लोग आने से हर प्रकार का कारोबार बढ़ता है। आज पूरे बनारस में दुकानों का, जमीनों का, होटलों का, होमस्टे का रेट बढ़ता चला जा रहा है, क्योंकि इतनी बड़ी संख्या में लोग यहां आ रहे हैं। इससे सबसे ज्यादा फायदा बनारस के ही लोगों को हो रहा है। फूल बेचने वाला भी कमा रहा है, खिलौने बेचने वाला कमा रहा है, साड़ी बेचने वाला कमा रहा है, नाव वाला कमा रहा है, ऑटो रिक्शा वाला कमा रहा है, हर एक को।
Narendra Modi has also brought in international leaders to Varanasi, such as the PMs of France and of Japan. And in any gift bag which is given to foreign delegates, there will be some kind of weave from Banaras or its famed Meenakari work in the gift bags. While the contest in Varanasi might be largely symbolic, there are some talking points for the opposition. For example, some of the problems, such as huge traffic jams, not only exist but have been made worse by battery-operated autos, which in this part are called totos. Similarly, power supply is erratic, as is water supply. In fact, there have been known instances of locals not only protesting but holding captive officers from these departments. The Ganga, despite Modi claiming that it is a river which has adopted him, has not seen much improvement. Yes, there are cruises, as you can see in the background, but this has directly impacted the livelihood of small boatsmen. Also, when cruises are run in a river, what happens to the tortoise and the dolphins in it? There seem to be no answers for that. The charm of Varanasi was its rather small gullies and the fact that you could live here frugally but dig inside for the riches of the spiritual world. When you destroy that, when you destroy the Banarsiyat of the city, does the city remain as it originally was? Should cities remain as they originally were, or should we always allow development to take the front seat? Let us return to the Ganga. A luxury tent city was built on its banks. The National Green Tribunal said that it was in clear violation of environmental norms and it fined the builders who have not paid up the fines as yet. Let us also return to one of the most famous projects that Narendra Modi has undertaken. There were 84 ghats in Varanasi originally. The one unused ghat, Khirkiya Ghat, was revamped and renamed the Namo Ghat. It is the ghat with those iconic folded hands which you must have seen countless pictures of. The Namo Ghat is a ghat unlike any of the traditional ghats which you see behind my back. It has access for the differently abled, it has a row of restaurants, it has rides for children and much else. But does it look like a traditional ghat of Varanasi? I leave that for you to decide. Khirkiya Ghat was originally home to a number of fishermen, boatmen and basket weavers. They were displaced when the ghat was revamped. Such displacement has taken place elsewhere also in Varanasi. And there is no saying where these displaced have gone. Now, why does it matter if you make a new ghat? One, because you have made it into the river bed. And why does this matter? Because if the level of the Ganga rises, it will lead to destruction. It happened so in 2021. The level of the Ganga reached above the 76-meter mark. This was the first time that it had happened since 1978. So why should this bother us if this is a rare occurrence? Because as climate change intensifies, such freak weather conditions will become even more frequent. When the Ganga reached that high mark, CNG pumps and a platform were wiped out. The Namo Ghat, in fact, was part of a much larger plan, which was to make a national water highway, which would have connected Varanasi to Haldia. However, experts say that now a further expenditure of 5,000 lakh crores would be required for the project to be as originally envisaged. Environmentalists warn against this because fluvial memory, that is the memory of a river, is a very strong thing, and the river will ultimately come back to claim what was its own. One final thing, when in Varanasi, how can we not talk about its weavers? A common facility center which is huge and houses 300 rooms has been set up. Corporates have also entered the market. Why should this be a bad thing then? Because when corporates enter the market, the weaver loses his agency and choice and ends up becoming just an employee. This will further lead to monopolies, which are not good in any given market situation, particularly for the smallest of the small. In fact, since Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister and started representing Varanasi, the number of looms have continued to fall. Thus, there are many small craftsmen who are not happy with this at all. However, Would that stop Narendra Modi from registering a win in Varanasi? Nobody thinks that. The only question in Varanasi seems to be, how big a win is this going to be?